Give Peace is the title today, and you can change that a little bit around to what seems to work for you. Give peace, receive peace, giving peace, giving my peace, peace that passeth understanding. Peace defined, oh, I didn't do that one, I'm going to do that one, because I meant to give you this one before the song with the Peace Crane sculptures comes an Ernest Holmes quote about peace, where Ernest says, "Peace comes from the absence of fear, from a consciousness of trust, from a deep underlying faith in the absolute goodness and mercy, the final integrity of the universe in which we live, and of every cause to which we give our thought, our time, and our intention." Every cause to which we give our thought, our time, and our attention. The dictionary definition for peace is freedom from disturbance. The synonyms tranquility and harmony. Peace is absence of hostility or violence, lack of conflict or turbulence. Tranquility and harmony. Exactly what we all desire in every single given moment, and the only one that can give it to us is us.
Well, peace is not something that we attain or that we acquire. It's something we become. It's something we grow into. It's not a commodity or a thing. It's a state of mind. It's not something you get. It's something you embody. One way of doing that is through spiritual practice. Sandy talked about some spiritual practice earlier today, treatments and so on. To meditation, visioning, contemplation, I like that one, and prayer or treatment. All those things allow us to awaken peace from within, because that is actually from whence it comes. It's like an app on your phone. When you buy your phone, you get all these apps that you don't know what they are until you click on them, and then all of a sudden they awaken you to a whole new experience. They lie there kind of dormant until we actually tap into them. Peace is like that. It's something within us. It's part of our nature of who we are. And if we don't ever tap into it, we never really get to experience it. So we need to use our spiritual practices like meditation and visioning and so on to go in to find that spot within us where we can become completely peaceful. I love the term communing with spirit. It reminds me of that phone thing where you're having a quiet conversation or a cup of tea with a close friend. And suppose that close friend is the creator of the universe and the maintainer of the universe. But you can just have a peaceful, quiet conversation, or not even have a conversation, just sit there and be with the one essence of all it is. Ernest Holmes says, "The unity of the spirit is kept through the bonds of peace. Other than peace suggests confusion and separation. The spirit is a perfect unit, and we harmonize with this unity when we maintain a state of peace in our minds." We harmonize with this unity when we maintain a state of peace in our minds. Remember, that's where it resides in the first place. We need to get beyond the chaos of the stuff that's going around us. You know, there's a lot of stuff going around, particularly in the Christmas season when people are looking for parking spaces and the best deal on Black Friday and so on. There's a lot of stuff going around us. There's a lot of energy happening around us. For us to feel peaceful sometimes takes a little bit of mental acuity, a little mental work, a little mental practice. And so we go within and still all the chaos around us and listen for that still small voice to remind us of what it means to be peaceful and to be confident and to be one with the one. I think it's interesting, and I've come to this thing quite often through my life. When I first heard it, I thought it was interesting. Jesus said, when you pray, go into your closet, shut the door, and pray to the Father which is in secret. And I always liked that because as a kid I didn't much like to pray in front of people. And I thought, okay, I'm just going to do what Jesus said, and I'm just going to go in my closet and pray by myself, and so I don't have to pray in front of people. Okay, I've kind of outgrown that now. I've become a minister. But it's comfortable now. And I think sometimes I'm just helping others to pray rather than feeling like I am praying in front of other people. Now, I think a lot of people thought at the beginning, or in that interpretation, a lot of people interpret it as being that don't go out and be bold and make a big deal about prayer. But I really think Jesus meant that prayer is a personal experience. It's something within us. We have to go within to the quiet, small voice within us. That's why he says, go in the closet and shut the door and pray to your Father which is in secret. It is a deep place, private place within you. He also said, following this, he said, pray in this manner. Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. I don't know if we really think about the Lord's Prayer too much, but that is a really powerful statement. Thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. It's saying that the essence, full essence of all that God is equally in heaven and earth. As if there are no separate places. It is only one unified essence in the divine idea. So then he goes on to talk about eating our food and thanks for our food and thanks for our, and being kind to other people and so on. All those things that help divide or eliminate separations and divisions. And then it says, for thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. I think by saying this, we are establishing a sense of heaven on earth, and we enjoy the kingdom of power and glory here in our own lives. We are connecting with divine principle. We are making it real in our own lives. When we go into prayer, we are connecting, communing with Spirit, and making that spiritual energy ours, making it a reality in our current human, physical lives. There's another part where Jesus talked about peace. Remember the story where he was riding in the boat and it got kind of quiet and he was sleeping and his friends all woke him up and said the storm was rising around them, they were all fearful. It says that he rebuked the wind and the sea and he said, peace, be still. And all of a sudden the winds calmed down and the seas leveled out. But then he immediately turned around to his companions and he said, why are you so fearful? How is it that you have no faith? Now, heaven forbid I should reanalyze his words from Mark in the Bible, but I think he wasn't necessarily rebuking the heavens and the seas as much as he was rebuking his companions in the boat and said, have some faith. He was telling them, why are you so fearful? How is it that you have no faith? Go to that peaceful place within you and go to sleep, which is what he was doing. Remember, he was the great example, not the great exception. We don't change the world, we change ourselves. And that makes a change in the world. As we live peacefully, we project or infuse or influence peace into the world. You know, what we think about, we bring about. You hear that almost every week lately, I've said it. And what we give returns to us, as Sandy was talking about. And as we give peace, we therefore experience peace. Exponentially, as we give peace, we grow peace. And the more we give, the more we receive. And the more we receive, the more we give. And you can see it goes on and on and on. So if you make peace your mission, peace will be the total essence of your life.
So the question becomes, Or are you on your peace path? Each one of us gets to answer that within ourselves, for ourselves. Where are you right now? Where were you a few hours ago? Yesterday, Friday, Thursday? Where do you think you'll be in a few hours from now? Where do you want to be? And what do you have to do to get there? I do agree completely with everything you said. And at the same time that I believe we're becoming, I believe that we can only become that which we already are. And so, made in the image and likeness of God, one of the qualities of God is peace. And so as we look at the example in nature, in the universe, of what that peace looks like, sometimes it looks very calm and quiet and tranquil and serene. But let's remember that there are still places in the universe where there's a lot of activity. I don't even think I'm going to go there. I was going to name some of those, but I'm not going to. You can just imagine for yourself, and you're not that. And so we get to choose to show up in this universe, experiencing the degree of peace that we desire. Wow, that feels good. That feels really good to know that we are the co-creator of our own peaceful experience. And at the same time, it's a lot of responsibility. Because in those moments where I maybe suddenly have my buttons pushed and I'm feeling rather angry, if someone were to say to me, oh, just go to your peaceful place, I might not be real happy with that, right? Or maybe I've grown enough to the point where I could say, thank you for that reminder. So many choices in this life experience. And, you know, I was thinking this week about this, and I thought, I don't know that I ever really experienced peace until I started spiritual practices when I was probably about 20. But I realized that that really isn't true. Because when I used to have those sit on the top of the pool slide experiences and sing to the trees and the mountains, I grew up in Vermont, and just commune with nature, I know those were God moments. Those were peaceful moments. But my religious background made me to believe that those were moments when I was with God, but most of the time God was just watching me to see if I was being good or bad. That's separation thinking. Thank God I no longer have that. Separation thinking pulls us away from our roots, our natural identity as a divine being. So there's a wonderful story called The Picture of Peace, in which there was a king who was going to offer a prize to whichever artist could paint the most beautiful picture that depicted peace. And so he offered this up to everyone in the kingdom, and there were many takers. And he went through the art, and he judged the art, and he got down to the last two pictures. And he just stood there looking at both of them. Now the first one was a picture of a mountain, and the mountain was tall and rugged. And at the foot of the mountain was a golden field of grass. And beyond that was a person standing at the foot of the grass with the mountain in front of them. So you, as the observer of the picture, are looking at the back of the person. And behind the person is water, calm water. So the person and the golden field and the mountain are all reflected behind the person. And as he stood looking at that picture, it was almost as if you could look at the picture and feel as if you were that person. You were that person experiencing the fullness. Those of you that were here last week, the great fullness of life and the peace that that moment brought. But he just couldn't decide, so he looked again at the second picture, and he noticed that it also had a mountain. There wasn't a person, but the mountain was really rugged and it was cold. And where the first picture had a blue sky and white puffy clouds and everything seemed peaceful, in this one you could tell it was a thunder and lightning storm and gray, cloudy clouds and sky. And he started looking at it a little bit more closely, and he realized that there was a waterfall painted into the picture, and around the waterfall a seed had planted itself in the crevice of the mountain, and a tree was growing out, a small tree, but a tree nonetheless. And the artist had painted a bird's nest in the tree with a bird sitting in the nest. And the wise king said, I choose the second one, because peace is not only in a place where there is no noise, trouble, or hard work. Peace is in the midst of things as they are, when there is calm in your heart. Calm in your heart. Ernest Holmes' words there of the cause is for our peace is our thoughts, our time, and our attention to it. Jennifer Pissanick, and I don't know if I'm saying that word right, but I usually just call her Picnic in my own mind because I love her writings. If you read the magazine, you read her each month. And I can't wait to meet her one day. She wrote, if we want more peace in our lives, we must begin to shift our perceptions. Shift our perceptions so that we see peace, we give peace, and we become that peace which we came here to be originally. And so it is.